guess I'm one of those idiots. I think this is going to work out. I think that this is an upgrade from Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And I think Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin could be a pretty good tandem. Am I wrong on this, Christian?
Well, Aaron Rodgers did say that the reason that he wanted to come to Pittsburgh, a big part of that was Mike Tomlin himself. Just playing with that head coach is one of the main reasons why Rodgers signed with Pittsburgh.
Like, I know people would disagree with me. And listen, the guy who I do the show with from 4 to 6 does. I think this is a significant upgrade from Russell Wilson. No one will be able to argue that with me right now as well. We're obviously going to see the proof in the pudding once the season starts, but I think Aaron Rodgers is a significant upgrade from Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. And the proof will be in the pudding once the Jets start playing games, once the Giants start playing games, and once the Steelers start playing games. But if I'm measuring the quarterback pressure gauge here on Russo and Rizzo with one Aaron Rodgers, it's obviously high. Like, we talk a lot about legacy when it comes to the great Aaron Rodgers. Thankfully, he won a Super Bowl in 2010, and the way they won the Super Bowl was incredible. They made the playoffs as a wild card team. They proved everyone wrong in the NFC playoffs. They ran through the NFC playoffs and then beat the Pittsburgh, ironically enough, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin in 2010 to win a Super Bowl. Now Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback there. But legacy. He's under a lot of pressure because of the legacy. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to be remembered for the quarterback that left Green Bay, and let's call it for what it is. He didn't leave Green Bay on the best of terms. Left Green Bay, goes to the Jets, and has everything be an absolute nightmare. Nothing went right for the Jets. And not only did nothing go right for the Jets, people are specifically blaming him for everything that went wrong.
Well, he had his hands in almost everything that was changed with the Jets. Like, he wanted Alan Lazard. He wanted Nathaniel Hackett. He wanted things ran his way in New York, and it just fell on its face in year two after losing year one to injury.
He'll deny it, right? He'll deny that, I had my hand in everything. But, Christian, you're absolutely right. Things started to change in New York, turned out to be for the bad, once Aaron Rodgers showed up. And I don't think that Aaron Rodgers wants his legacy to be remembered as a quarterback who's a Hall of Famer, 4-time MVP, first ballot. But when he left Green Bay, all hell broke loose. I guess I'm the only one in the country that thinks Rodgers is going to have a good season with the Steelers next year. And I know Steeler fan, as I call him, Squealer fan. I know Steeler fan. They are not optimistic, at least the ones I talk to, about Aaron Rodgers. And if I do have Steeler fans listening that are optimistic about Rodgers, 888-760-3776, please call in. Because I've not heard a single Steeler fan go, this is an upgrade from Russell Wilson. I could see us making the playoffs. It's been all doom and gloom of we haven't been able to figure it out since Roethlisberger. The Mike Tomlin is my best friend Zach calls him mediocre Mike, and it cracks me up to kingdom come every time he says it.
I found one other person that has a very strong opinion on how this Steelers season might go, and it happened on Get Up this morning. You want to take a listen, Mike?
Let's listen.
I'll make a bold prediction, Greeny.
Let me hear it.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be irrelevant by Thanksgiving.
Irrelevant?
Wow.
By Thanksgiving?
Whoa. Yeah. A non-playoff team, a 42-year-old quarterback who's a legend that's going off into the sunset.
Explain this to me, because I think, tell me how the Steelers are not going, particularly with a little bit of an easier early schedule. They're always relevant deep into the season. This is going to be the year it falls apart?
Yeah, Greeny, the inverse is tell me why they're going to be relevant, because they're the third best team in the division. They're going to have to find out about Will Howard, who they drafted from Ohio State, who I think is very intriguing. I don't think they could really win this division.
That's Mike Tannenbaum on Get Up. Who didn't say it to your face.
Friend of show. Mike, hello. Where's this stuff when you join Russo and Rizzo? Mike Tannenbaum. Where's that when you join Russo and Rizzo? Listen, I understand why Mike said it. I understand that the Pittsburgh Steelers as an organization have been flirting with not making the playoffs for about 5 years straight now. We talk about this like the Steelers will be 4-1 They'll lose 3 in a row. They'll be 500. They'll win 2 in a row. And then they'll wait a month and a half to win 3 games and win 10 games. And Tomlin will make the playoffs and lose in the first round. Forgive me for thinking that Aaron Rodgers could come in and kind of change the boat a little bit. How about this? Change the direction of the boat. Now, I think DK Metcalf helps. I think the Steelers being committed to improving the offensive line helps. Christian, we both agree you got to protect Rodgers, right?
Of course, yeah. One bad hit and poof, the season goes up in smoke.
So the Steelers have made it a point of emphasis to protect Rodgers. Now, maybe this is my fandom getting in the way, because when I view the Steelers, I view them as one of the best run organization in sports, one of the best ownership groups in sports, and leaders within football community when it comes to the ownerships with the Rooneys. With that out of the way, there are a lot of angry Steeler fans out there who are spoiled. All right. And listen, I don't want to hear a Steeler fan complain with 6 Super Bowls and arguably the most recognizable logo in the NFL outside of the Cowboys. Like, everyone says the Dallas Cowboys are America's team. I disagree. I think it's the Pittsburgh Steelers with the amount of fans that team has. But with how the Steelers are run, I think it's going to be tenfold better than the experience he had with the Jets. And listen, I go back to what Christian brought up, a brilliant point. Self-inflicted wounds with New York, with Rodgers, probably. Right. Let's be honest with ourselves. Probably. But I think with how great the Steelers are ran, people are going to be surprised. I completely disagree. I'm surprised the great Mike Tannenbaum had that to say on Get Up this morning. And I reiterate, Mike, where is this stuff when you joined Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo here on Russo and Rizzo? Do you see Rodgers got married?
He did, just in the when he talked about why this free agent decision was being delayed and we haven't heard anything news about it, he said there was personal things happening. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't even bad. Maybe it was great personal things happening. And, yeah, he shows up to camp with the ring, gets asked about it, and goes, yeah, I've been married for about 3 months now.
Did he have an obligation to tell people he was getting married, Christian?
No.
Okay.
People normally would have found out whether or not he wanted to, but he kept it under wraps really well.
So, Christian, I have some vacation time. I have not really taken it yet, but it's been brought to my attention by HR Anna and Colin Russo that if I don't use my days, I'm going to lose them.
You get to keep, I think, 5 of them.
But, Christian,
everything else gone.
Yeah, partner. Let's put it in perspective. 8 and 5 is 45. That's 45 hours. Christian, I have like 100.
I don't think that's true.
40 hours.
Yeah.
Public school kid.
Yeah.
Public school kid.
You have 40
hours.
Vacation hours.
Okay. So, but.
Or you don't.
I have 120.
Ooh.
So I need to use the days. If I took a week off of work, all right, stay with me here. If I took a week off of work and came back with a wedding ring, would you have a problem with it?
A problem with it? Yeah. I would think you fell off the wagon and you somehow went back to those performance-enhancing alcohols and drugs and stuff, and you were in a tough spot, and you got married, and